Chelsea Football Club could go bust. They could collapse as they put forward changes to allow them to operate after Roman Abramovich is sanctioned, with Nike looking to be the next brand, the next sponsor to pull its £900 million deal away from the football club. These are the headlines last night and this morning that Chelsea fans are waking up to. Chelsea could go bust. Chelsea may not finish their season. Chelsea, as we know it, may be finished. They could be over. And these headlines are everywhere. Chelsea have been told that the deal to sell the club must be agreed before the license runs out on the 31st of May to guarantee the survival of the club. The license that allows the club to play the remainder of the season won't be renewed unless Roman Abramovich agrees to sell. Roman's sanction as doubts over Nike's £900 million shirt deal grows, and as we know, 3 have suspended the shirt sponsor of the football club. The game with Norwich last night is reportedly going to be the last time that Chelsea are allowed to wear that brand and that emblem for the time being, and the money coming into the club. Now, it's very interesting when you read these news articles and you read these stories and the potential of Chelsea collapsing. It's intriguing because, of course, it's met with an air of fury. And when you read the big headline late last night in the Daily Mail that says Chelsea could go bust, Chelsea's season being under threat, as club chiefs put forward changes to allow them to operate after the owner is sanctioned. When you delve into that story and you actually read it, when you look at that story and you actually break things down, this is simply a matter of Chelsea's board saying to the UK government, look, we understand that the club's got to be sold. Roman and you can work on that. But you've put a number of restrictions in place that are damaging to us. The limitations on how much money we can spend traveling to and from games. People think £20,000 a lot, but clubs have to take about 30 to 40 people minimum with them. There is train costs, there is hotel costs, there are flights that are needed for some of this travel. It's very, very expensive indeed. If you think football clubs are getting major discounts, you're wrong. People will hike up the prices because the clubs need their services. Chelsea, we know, are in turmoil. We know there is a lot of uncertainty about the future, but the media really isn't helping with a lot of these headlines. What we know to be absolutely true, without a shadow of a doubt, is that Chelsea Football Club, I'm not necessarily saying that they're not going to go bust as things stand. The government is set to permit the sale of Chelsea as long as Roman does not receive a single penny. The Times understands that a second license is likely to be granted. On top of that, buyers can go directly to the government to request a change to the license that Chelsea currently operate under. This is simply to stop Roman Abramovich making any money out the football club. There were big reports yesterday that the government weren't convinced that the money would be given to the charities or the support groups in the Ukraine. And again, this is the UK government versus Roman Abramovich. This is not the UK government versus Chelsea, although it will feel very much that way with Chelsea. The world in which we live in now will make brands pull away if a resolution isn't resolved. But this is what Chelsea fans have to ask themselves, because the likes of Nick Candy, billionaire British property tycoon, and many others are still interested in buying the club. The government have said they will allow the sale of the club to go through as long as Roman isn't making a penny. All Roman Abramovich has to do is relinquish the power. The only way this goes wrong for Chelsea is if Roman decides not to sell. If Roman says, do you know what? Freeze my assets. I'm going to fight you in court. I'm going to prove I've got no connection to Putin. I'll win the battles. I'll win my club back. I'll then screw you for compensation. But I'm proper Chelsea and I'm going nowhere. Very much Wolf of Wall Street. I ain't fucking leaving. That's what it's going to be. But he isn't going to do that, is he? Does anybody watching believe legitimately that Roman Abramovich is going to do that? Does anybody legitimately believe that Roman Abramovich is going to destroy everything he has built at the football club? Really? Is he going to? Because, listen, worst case scenario, Roman does that. Nike pull away, 3 are pulled away. At the moment, they're still allowed to receive TV money. Very much expect the government to then put pressure on the likes of Sky and other international TV companies via the Premier League. The money goes into the Premier League and is distributed to the clubs, I believe. They put pressure on the Premier League to stop the TV money coming through. Remember, the license can be revoked to operate at any time. They could go to a point where they said, you know what, you're not even allowed to play football. You've got to forego your games. So there is this this quantum of chance that all these headlines happen. But in reality, there are a number of consortiums that want to buy Chelsea that are still out there that are looking to do it. They're out there. They want to buy the club. Bids have already been submitted. And there's one thing that the way this is going to go is very simple to me. There's lots of people out there that want to buy the club. There's lots of people out there that want to invest in this club. Right across the spectrum. Lots of different people that are out there that want to buy this football club. Some will be seen as good buyers. Some will be seen as average buyers. Some will be seen as bad buyers by Chelsea fans. A £2 billion bid this week has already been rejected by Roman. All I think this move from the UK government is going to do is speed up the sales process. I would be shocked. I would be beyond shocked. I would be flabbergasted if Roman destroys Chelsea in a power struggle with the UK government. He will, in my opinion, in the coming days and weeks, come to an agreement via the sign-off of the UK government to sell this football club. As soon as it's sold, it is highly likely that the likes of the likes of Nike, along with other sponsors, jump straight back on board. Very much like a restaurant you see in the high street when it has a big sign under it, under new management. Makes you feel differently about it. You go in there and it's a new chef, it's a new manager, it's new waitresses and waiters. It's not the same place. Liquor paint. It's a different business. It's a different organization. The food's nicer. I'm going back. Now, I know a lot of Chelsea fans are out there and they're fuming. I know a lot of Chelsea fans are out there and they're absolutely raging at the fact that Free have pulled away. They feel victimized. They feel like this is a campaign to get Chelsea. I'm saying this to Chelsea supporters. Keep your powder dry. Just keep your powder dry right now and understand that the world in which we live in, whenever you're deemed by society to be on the wrong side, forget what you think, forget what I think for a moment, society. And when I say society, I mean what's popular on social media. What is popular on social media? Whatever the trending thought is. Whose side on the conflict are we on? Which of the two celebrities breaking up am I backing and supporting here? This happened literally right from a celebrity breakup right through to a war. This is how things are decided now. Polarization and binary thinking. Right. Are we on Kanye's side or Kim Kardashian's side? Now, this goes back years, by the way. Are you on Peter Andre's side or Katie Price's? Are you on the Ukraine side or are you on Russia's side? There is no nuance in this world. There are no gray spaces. There is no, I support 95% of the things that this politician says, but I don't like this one. Oh, you don't like everything he says, you're out. Equally, in the other direction, I hate everything about this individual, but I think he's got a point there. You're a Nazi. That's how the world's become. So I see Chelsea fans outside 3 stores shouting at them like it's that employee's fault. Of course, 3 and Nike and other brands are going to look to pull away from a football club that is sanctioned. Whether you agree with it or not, you don't want to be embroiled in the sanction issue. 3, Nike and anybody that's connected to Chelsea has a responsibility to themselves, their business, their employees, their shareholders. These decisions come back down to money. They come back down to money at all times. And this is why I tend not to get overly involved in terms of condemning them, even though it's frustrating at times, is this. If my business was going to be impacted tomorrow and I was going to potentially lose income because of my connection to another company or a brand or a person, I would probably walk away. And I'm brave enough to, even if I felt this person was being wrongfully targeted, I'd still probably walk away. And I'm strong enough to admit this. Do you know why? Because feeding my children, paying my staff members are the most important things to me right now. And I have a responsibility to them. And that overrides for me, and this is just my take, my wider social responsibility. That first. Within reason. Let me just explain that to you as well, within reason. But like most parents, you'd pretty much do anything to feed your kids. And some people go, "Oh, three ain't doing that. They're not a small business like yours, Terry. That's got But it's the same difference. The way this world is now, in the society we live in, if they say associated to Chelsea and Roman does dig his heels in, three will be embroiled in this. And who knows what the UK government will do? Who do you think is going to be benefiting out of the seizure and sale of assets? The people they're taking them from, or the UK government that are taking it? Trust me. Where there's money, there's a possibility of anything. So Chelsea fans remain calm. The likelihood of you going out of business, the likelihood of you not finishing this season is absolutely minuscule, tiny, so small. The talk of collapse, the talk of Chelsea not being around anymore, Chelsea going bust, the possibility is so small. There's more chance you winning the league this year than that happening. I mean, there's such a small chance. It's unbelievable. I want your thoughts and I want your feelings. Chelsea fans, don't be out there panicking. Smash that like and share button before you leave. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you soon.